Oh, we're live, pal.
Yeah, we're here. Everybody. Happy November, everyone. Merry Christmas in November. It's very exciting.
Well, happy Thanksgiving. Let's
Yes.
not forget that one.
No. Yes, we are here. We are here to preview the films coming up in November and December in the streaming wars, and it's going to be really fun. I'm excited to talk about all of these. But how have you been doing, Ryan?
It's been pretty busy. Scary Mania 2 wrapped up October 31st. Second year in a row I've done it, and I'm very proud of it. It was bigger and better than the first in every conceivable fashion, and I'm so happy with how it turned out. In real life, things are getting busy as well. Well, at my job, we had this charity art show that I helped run, or well, I was at least third on the totem pole,
Oh, cool.
and it's looking like we're going to make a nice chunk of change, which will go to our operations to help homeless and stuff like that. So so that's all well and good. And then got the holidays with because when you work with the homeless, it's especially rough around the holidays. So we got that coming up, and then as far as this, as far as the near future, I'm actually having a paid vacation this week because at my
Ooh.
job you're required to take at least 5 days in a row off per year paid. So there's never really a good time to take any kind of time off at my job.
Hmm.
So I was just like, it's got to be now because Thanksgiving is not going to be exactly ideal, and especially Christmas. So it's now or
Yeah.
never.
Yeah. Well, that sounds like a nice little staycation. That'll be fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and considering the fact that there are four new releases this weekend, I can probably see at least three of them. There's
There you
Eternals, which
go.
I'm going to see tonight, French Dispatch, which I'm looking forward to. We're getting Spencer at my luxury theater in Daytona, and
Nice.
also Red Notice, is on Netflix, but is actually releasing at my luxury theater, which is strange because at my luxury theater, we're getting theater releases of all the Netflix movies. We got Summer of Soul there, we got Army of the Dead there,
Oh,
we got
interesting.
Harder They Fall there. I don't know what kind of contract they need to work out to do that, but I hope it keeps it up.
Hmm. Cool. Well, we should say, as we're doing this preview, since it's live, we can take your questions as well if you're listening. And also, there's the super chat. So if you feel like supporting the channel, that would be really cool. We do have a question that came in, and it's from Network 98. She says, Rachel, what's the worst animated movie you've seen?
Oh boy, how
I do
long do
have
we
a video
have?
on that. I can't remember that. I think I might have said Eight Crazy Nights. I really hate that movie with
Yeah,
Adam
that's
Sandler, and it's just gross and not funny and annoying. But
you know, Adam
I,
Adam Sandler is a nice person. Let's not get that twisted. If you've actually like seen him in interviews, he is a nice person. I don't know what he was thinking when he was making this because it's you're right. It's gross.
mhm,
There's no like you're supposed to root for a guy who's a complete and total like just terrible person, and it's a very slapdash. Oh, we're supposed to feel bad for him now. It's like that's not how it works. That's not how
yeah,
any of this works.
right. And it's a shame too because there's not that many Hanukkah themed movies, so it would be nice if it was good, but just not for me. I mean, I think probably you got to talk about Norm of the North in there. That one's was just
Oh
absolutely
boy.
terrible. I refused to watch any of the sequels. I have my dignity during it all.
Well, we should consult our good friend Jaden Sapp.
Yeah.
I'm sure he'll fill us in on all the details.
Right. Yeah, agreed. I don't know. What would you say is the worst animated film you've ever seen?
It's probably Food Fight. I'm not
No, I've
sure if
never
you've
seen
ever
it.
heard of that. Don't. It's one of the ugliest, not just fit, not just looking wise visually, but just
Yeah.
ugliest movies I've ever seen.
Yeah,
Like
it
the
looks
history of the
terrible.
making of the movie is honestly better and would make a better movie than what we actually got, filled
Yeah.
with producers coming in and dropping out, actors coming and going. The footage ended up getting stolen. Why would you want to steal the food fight footage? It boggles my mind, but there you go.
I'd also have to add to this conversation the Hunchback of Notre Dame too. I think it's the worst of the cheap quills. It's just, and I'm not even that big a fan of the original, but it's just absolutely atrocious.
I was going to say, are you going to say the original Hunchback? Because that's good.
No, oh yeah, no. That, I mean, I have my issues with it, but I mean, it's not even in the same conversation as Hunchback 2 is a complete
Had no
embarrassment.
idea that was even a thing.
It's really bad. Even for the cheap goals, it's really bad. Okay, well, we have another question. It's from Jacob Martin. He says, "Hey, Rachel, what's a good Hallmark Christmas movie to watch for someone like me who doesn't really watch Hallmark movies?" And
You're the expert here.
Yeah. I think that a couple fan favorites are The 9 Lives of Christmas or a very Merry Mix-Up. I can't remember have I watched those two, Ryan?
I think you gave me 5 for our first Hallmark episode. I think there was one involving there was this one guy who was of the Jewish faith, and or was it the woman who was of the Jewish faith?
Oh, yeah.
I really
It's for the
enjoyed
holidays,
that
I think. Yeah, that one's pretty good. If you want more of the drama, like November Christmas is a really good one. It'll tug at the heartstrings. It's got a great cast. It's got Sam Elliott and Sarah Paulson and really good cast. So that one's, if you want more of a tearjerker, that one's a pretty good one. I also love Trading Christmas, which I think is really fun. If you like the holiday, I'd even prefer it over the holiday. If you want something a little more nutty, and this is actually Lifetime, not Hallmark, but they're pretty close. Christmas Perfection. I know I've talked about it here on this podcast, but I think it's really funny. It's a girl who gets caught or ends up wakes up in the morning and she's in her mother's Irish Christmas village. And everything is like perfect. And
I've actually seen this and can confirm that it's actually quite good.
Yeah, it's funny. It's kind of, sort of that Groundhog Day kind of mentality. And so, yeah, I think you'd enjoy it. And Jacob says, I'll watch anything with Sam Elliott. Yeah, November Christmas, it's a good one. And I mean, some people like the rom-coms better, but if you like that sweet family drama, then that's a good one to watch. So good questions. All right, let's get started with some of these previews that we're going to be talking about. And hold on just a second here.
Starting off with the creepy movie.
Yes. So we're starting off with a movie that actually premieres today. This is on the 5th of November. It's on Netflix and it's Love Hard, which is a terrible title, by the way. And it's set in Los Angeles. The movie follows a woman who falls for a man while on a dating app who lives on the other side of the country. But when traveling to meet, she finds out she's been catfished. So we should say before this that Ryan and I did a preview of the All the Rest. We called it Christmas schedule with Jennifer Chandler over on Hallmarkies podcast, where we talked about this and a bunch of other movies. We talked about Netflix. We talked about Peacock. We did over 35 films. So we don't have all of those on here, but we have some of them. So if you want to hear more about our thoughts and Jennifer's, I have a link in the description to that one. It's pretty fun. So what do you think about this one, Ryan?
Mostly my same thoughts as in that preview. I think if this were just tweaked just a little, this would be the start of like every thriller ever made. This just seems like it was made to create a true crime podcast around it. It's like a lonely woman looking for love, and all of a sudden she tries this dating app on a whim, and all of a sudden it's the guy of her dreams. She goes out there, and it's this little Asian dude like, hi. Next thing you know, she is in the in the bottom of a well going, it puts the lotion on its skin or else it gets the hose again. That's how
Mhm.
it always works.
It definitely has horror vibes. I will agree with you. um, but I'm hoping I've actually heard some good things. It seems like from people who've had a chance to watch it, so I'm hopeful. Because to be clear, most romantic comedies, if thought about in a certain way, have kind of a horror vibe to them. We joke on Hallmark Channel that on Hallmarky's podcast that you just change the score, and a lot of times this would be a horror movie. But I'm a little bit concerned that I felt like some of the way they were talking about the catfisher was like a little cringy, a little racist, maybe. I hope it's not, but it was just a little concerned the way they were talking about him as this Asian guy, and I don't know, that made me a little uncomfortable in the trailer. Hopefully not, but yeah, I can't remember. I think I gave it a Cole. I am not sure.
I
But we'll do one to five, and this is definitely a one for
Yeah,
us.
I same one because
Yeah.
and it might be good. It might be good, but when I saw this trailer, I was like, "Woman, you need to run far away from this man."
Yeah, that's right. Okay. Then we have on the 7th, we have Father Christmas is Back. And this is this centers around four sisters who have reunited for the Christmas holiday in a Yorkshire mansion. Misunderstandings that and misunderstandings that uncover the long buried secret that tore their family apart so many years ago. And this one, really, the standout about it is the cast. It's got Kelsey Grammer and John Cleese um, and Elizabeth Hurley. It's got a pretty stacked cast. What do you think about this one?
I love this cast, and so I think for that reason alone, I will at least think about taking a look at it because I love some John Cleese and I love me some Kelsey Grammer, so that's two thumbs up for me right there.
Yeah, and I thought the trailer looked pretty funny. That it made me kind of intrigued. So I it's Elizabeth Hurley, John Cleese, Kelsey Grammer. So I'm gonna be hopeful. I'm gonna give it like a I'm gonna give it a 3.
Yeah, same 3, at least for the cast. Like it was gonna be like maybe a 2.5, but I'll knock
Yeah,
it up.
same. That's I was feeling too. All right. Then we have going away from Christmas for a second. We have a movie called Passing. This is on the 10th of November. And it follows the unexpected reunion of two high school friends whose renewed acquaintance ignites a mutual obsession that threatens both of their carefully constructed realities. And basically, in this, from the trailer, it appears that you have these two people that you have a black woman passing as white, and then you have a white woman passing as black. I think is what I got from the trailer. And this was at Sundance, and its
Sounds about
director.
right.
What's that?
Sounds about right.
Yeah, it's director Rebecca Hall, who's also an actress. And I don't know, what do you think of the trailer?
This was weird. I really don't know what to make of this. Is it like, are they going to like swap places? Are they like what? I don't know what this. I don't know how to feel about this because Tessa Thompson is good. I love Rebecca Hall. Everything she's been in has been great. She was excellent in this really underrated horror movie called The Gift, which was written and directed by Joel Edgerton. He also stars in there as well.
Oh, she was in
So,
that? Oh,
yeah,
wait, Rebecca Hall. Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
she was Jason Bateman's wife. And
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know. When I saw this, I was like, how, like, in our culture where we're like so like where we're like kind of cognizant of like various like faces, like how is this being pulled off? Like a white woman wearing blackface and a black woman wearing whiteface.
Mm-hmm.
How did this even get past the cutting room floor or even developmentally? It just
Yeah, I mean, it is in
feels
black and
weird.
white, which I think is an interesting choice too. It's on Wikipedia. It says mixed race childhood friends reunite in middle class adulthood and become increasingly involved with one another's lives and insecurities. While Irene identifies as African American and is married to a black doctor, Claire passes as white and has married a prejudiced, wealthy white man, played by Alexander Skarsgård. Yeah, he's kind of like Sam Rockwell in the way, like both of them have to be kind of careful because they've played so many racist and terrible people at this point.
Like it may be good. I'm not shooting the movie
Oh
down.
no, they're incredibly talented actors. I'm just saying that they might want to take like a light rom-com.
Yeah, I was watching this and I was like, this movie gets even a sniff of the Oscars, people are just going to go nuts, like Green Book level nuts.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard from people that it's a little dry, that's a little boring.
How can a movie like this be boring? I will never understand.
I'm going to give it a 2. I hope it'll be good, though.
For the cast and for Rebecca Hall, I'll give it a 2.5. Because I'm just an optimist.
And if you're listening or watching, if you want to put your numbers on as we talk, please do in the chat room. So then we have on the 12th on Netflix, we have Red Notice. And this stars Gal Gadot and Ryan Reynolds and The Rock. And it just has a 1-sentence summary on IMDb. It's an Interpol agent tracks down the world's most wanted art thief. So you saw the trailer for this. What do you think?
I liked it. I think this is something that's way up my alley. I mean, as a wrestling fan, I've always loved The Rock. I've always followed everything that he does. And I love Ryan Reynolds and I love Gal Gadot. So this is all three of them in a spy movie where one spy is going after the foremost art thief in the world. This sounds like an Uncharted premise. Like, sign me up for all of that.
Yeah, I mean, the trailer looked fun. The trailer shows a lot. So if you don't have to like us, then I'd probably skip watching the trailer. But yeah, I mean, these 3 actors are 3 of the most likable actors that we have working today, I would say. And so, that makes me hopeful. So I'm going to give it a 3.
I'll give it a 3.5, just because this is like a genre that I always gravitate towards.
Yeah. Okay, so then we have Clifford the Big Red Dog. This is on Paramount Plus on the 10th, and it's a young girl's love for a tiny puppy named Clifford makes the dog grow to an enormous size. So I should say about this movie is that I'm kind of scared of dogs, and so this movie is not for me.
It's not.
The idea of like a giant, massive dog is terrifying to me.
Yeah,
like if they had made it kind of cartoony, kind of like say Tom and Jerry, those animation where it would have been more palatable to me. But this just talk about looking like a horror movie. Giant dog.
I have strongly disliked dogs my entire life. I'm not against dog people. They are fine with me. I've just been a cat person because cats are mellow. They just sit there. They lick themselves. They sleep in the 8. That's all I need them to do. Every time I walk in the morning, there's like 5 dogs. They're like, roar, 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 and they run up to me and they're like, I'm sorry, he's just saying hello. It just like, get that,
Yeah. We have Jake Martin. He says, not a fan of the design of Clifford. Looks like he stares into my soul. Yes, I'm a dog person.
I mean, it could be worse. It could be that Garfield movie with Bill Murray.
Yeah, but at least that was like a normal sized Garfield. It wasn't like a giant Garfield.
Oh, geez.
Okay. Oh, what are you going to give it? I give it 1. It's not for me.
I'll give it a 1.5 just to be nice about it. I'll be the good cop of this stream.
I mean, they were going to screen it at TIFF, which was very weird. So maybe there's something in it that we don't know about. But
I could just imagine that lineup. Yes, on the TIFF ballot today we have Belfast, we have Passing, Clifford the Big Red Dog. Wait, what was that last one?
Yeah. All right. Then we have to Disney Plus on the 12th. We've got Home Sweet Home Alone. And then this is 10-year-old Max Mercer is accidentally left at home by himself for the holidays when his family leaves for a vacation to Tokyo and has to take separate flights due to an error in the flight booking. At first, Max revels in getting to do whatever he wants now that he's alone, but soon must defend his house from burglars Pam and Jeff Fritzkowski, a couple looking to steal a priceless heirloom from his family. So, what do you think about this, Ryan?
When I first saw this trailer, I had a gut reaction of, they just remade Home Alone. Nothing is truly sacred. But then I saw it again and I was like, okay, it's not for me, but for the next generation, it will be their version of Home Alone. And if it's done well, then who am I to gatekeep and stand in the way? So if it's good, then I'll just be like, okay, fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, everybody knows how much I love the original Home Alone. It's a foundation movie for me, first comedy that I ever really loved. And so I do have a fondness for the property. I actually haven't seen, and I will sometime this month. I plan on watching 3, 4, and 5. I have not seen those. I have not heard good things. But I guess I had very low expectations going to this trailer, and I thought it was actually okay. I didn't mind the trailer. I liked the fact that it felt very old school to me. I was expecting this movie to have like lots of apps and like, go sort of techno on it, and which would be really lame. And this felt very similar to the original as far as it's just a kid in the house and the robbers. And so I was kind of pleasantly surprised by that. I mean, that could turn out to bite them because it's the hard thing about doing remakes. Do you make it really similar to the original or do you do your own thing? Both of them can backfire depending on how well it's done. I mean, I like the cast. Ellie Kemper, I think she could be really fun in this role as the one of the robbers. And I feel like it's not a precious franchise. This is the 6th one. So if it's not good, no big deal.
3 is a guilty pleasure, even though I recognize it's not exactly great. The traps in there are ridiculous. I won't spoil them, but oh boy, like if there was any credence to the whole Kevin McAllister as Jigsaw theory, then Home Alone 3 surely adds fuel to the fire, even though Kevin McAllister is nowhere near that movie. But that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, I'll definitely have to let you know what I think when I get to watch it. Jacob was not a fan of the Home Sweet Home Alone, but it's just a Disney Plus, so if it's not good,
no harm done.
Right. What are you giving it?
I'll give it a 3.5.
Yeah, I think I agree, 3.5. Okay, then we have Princess Switch 3, and this is on the 18th. And it's, of course, the third in the series. It's Princess Switch 3, Romancing the Star. And it stars Vanessa Hudgens as our 3 princesses. And I've enjoyed all the other 2 very much. This is on Netflix, the 18th. It's Vanessa Hudgens stars 3 times over in this lighthearted third Princess Switch movie, which follows Queen Margaret and Princess Stacy as they try to track down a stolen precious family artifact. They team up with Margaret's cousin, Fiona, who enlists the help of a new mysterious man. And I loved Fiona in the second one. It was hilarious. She was basically like a Cruella de Vil type, like hilarious. So I'm pretty hyped for this. Like I said, I've enjoyed the other 2. I'm excited for this one. I'm going to give it a 4.5. Yeah, out of 5. So I'm looking forward to it. What about you?
I'll give it a 4, if anything, because I love Vanessa Hudgens. She was my first celebrity crush. She was Gabriella in High School Musical, and I watched all of those movies when they premiered. So I was she was the crush, and I even followed her singing career that didn't last too long, but at least the movies worked for her.
Very good. All right. Next, we have Tick Tick Boom, and this is on the 19th, and it's on Netflix. On the cusp of his 30th birthday, a promising young theater composer navigates love, friendship, and the pressures of life as an artist in New York City. So this was written by Jonathan Larson, who was the composer of Rent, who died tragically right as Rent was being put on Broadway. This is directed by Lin-Manuel, so that's kind of exciting. Lin-Manuel Miranda, and it stars Andrew Garfield, Alexander Shipp. And so, what did you think of this trailer?
You know, I had heard of Rent, and I know the song 525,600 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen the play in its entirety. I want to though, because
Yeah.
I know that song so much, and it's weird that I know that particular song, but not the musical. So I'll have to watch it anyway. But then when I was watching this trailer, I was like, wait, is this about Jonathan Larson creating Rent, or is this something else? And either way, I am intrigued. I mean, Andrew Garfield is just an excellent actor. Since Jacob Martin's is in the chat right now, I'm gonna be doing a collab with him for Hacksaw Ridge, which
Oh, I
Andrew
love that
Garfield's the
movie.
star of, and he's excellent in that. He's excellent in Silence and 99 Homes, which is a very underrated movie, and a lot of others that I'm forgetting. And Garfield just seems to knock it out of the ballpark, whatever he is in. And Lin-Manuel Miranda, I mean, that's like the 1-2 punch right there. Lin-Manuel Miranda has been a busy man this
Oh
year.
my
In the
gosh.
Heights and Kanto coming up. This,
Vivo.
like, does he sleep?
Yeah. Yeah, he did In the Heights, Vivo, in Encanto. I mean, granted, a lot of these things were pushed and moved around and stuff like that, so there were probably some of them come out last year. But yeah, it's been a pretty strong. I mean, considering especially last year we had Hamilton come out. I mean, so yeah, it's Lin Manuel's not begging for more work. Like, he's
Yeah,
kept
he's
very busy.
breaking some banks over there.
Yeah.
He's gonna pull a Ted DiBiase and be like, I can buy money, I can buy power, and I can even buy you.
Yeah, it's gonna. I mean, I really love the music from Tick Tick Boom, so I'm curious to see how it is. I've never seen the show. I wanted to, but so I'm curious to see. You know, I love musicals, and I'm actually going to get a chance to see Rent for the first time on the 18th. The local production here in Utah is doing it. I'm very excited about it because I've never seen it. So that will be fun. And so I'm pretty hyped. You know, I love musicals. So I'm going to give this also a 4.5.
I'm with you, 4.5.
Yeah. Okay. Then we have King Richard. This is on the 19th, HBO Max. A look at how tennis superstars Venus and Serena Williams became who they are after the coaching from their father, Richard Williams. So this is a book that's obviously from telling the story of real life man, Richard Williams and Venus and Serena. What did you think of the trailer? Will Smith.
I love Will Smith. I think he is a very inspiring person. He went from a rapper to a TV star to now an actor, and I'm a big fan of a lot of his work, and I have a feeling that he's going to be good in this movie. However, the entire time I watch this trailer and whenever I see it, I think to myself, this would be excellent if this were about Venus and Serena. Like, why is it about their dad? And I know it's based on a book, but it's like when the Tiger Woods movie gets made, and I know it will be made, and I hope it is good, I don't want it to focus on Earl, Tiger's dad, which, I mean,
Right.
that's a very interesting relationship right there. But if you're going to make a Tiger Woods movie, you need to make a Tiger Woods movie, not
Mhm.
about his dad. And so I don't know, I guess I'd be more on board with a Venus and Serena movie rather than, oh, here's their dad. So I don't know.
Mhm.
Maybe I just have to see it to get it, but I
Yeah.
just don't know.
So I've actually seen this, so it's a little bit unfair to have it in the preview section, but I haven't written out my review yet. I haven't had time. But I think that your expectations are valid, and I agree. Um, Basically, I Will Smith, I think, could very well win an Oscar for this role. It's definitely the kind of role that the Oscars usually type to reward. He's very good. He's very convincing. They love sort of true story performances, kind of thing. And so I think that he will probably win. He will definitely get nominated. It would be a huge upset if he didn't get nominated.
Yeah, for
But
real.
my main problem was what you articulated, that I so often in the scenes, almost every single scene, I kept thinking he's the least interesting person in this scene. He's the person I want to hear about the least. And we got so little from Venus and Serena about, did they agree with their father on this? Did they even like playing tennis? We don't know. We just get so little from them, and it's not their movie, so that's fair. But I just felt like he was kind of a bland character, and what's like, why do we have to learn about these women through this man?
Yeah, exactly. Like,
Yeah.
I would much rather watch like a Serena Williams movie and like her winning her first major or something
Yep.
like that. Like,
They
say
get,
my pitch for the Tiger Woods movie, make it about the
yeah.
1997 Masters, his first major win, and
Right.
how he just blew everybody out of the water at Augusta.
Yeah.
But side
Mhm.
road, that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, I mean, it's not bad. I didn't hate the movie. I'll probably give it a positive score because it's overall heartwarming and a crowd pleaser, and Will Smith is very good in it. But I just think it's kind of bland. So
Hmm.
yeah, so I will probably give it a 3.
I'll give it a 3 as well. I think, like I said, I like Will Smith, so I'll bump it up a little bit for him.
Yeah. All right, so then we've got A Boy Called Christmas. This is on Netflix. It's on the 24th. An ordinary young boy called Nicholas sets out on an extraordinary adventure into the snowy north in search of his father, who is on a quest to discover the fabled village of the elves, Elfheim, taking with him a headstrong reindeer called Blitzen and a loyal pet mouse. Nicholas soon meets his destiny in this magical, comic, and endearing story that proves nothing is impossible. And this one has a really great cast. Uh, you've got Maggie Smith, Jim Broadbent, Henry Lawful, Toby Jones, Sally Hawkins, Kristen Wiig, and Michael Heisman. So, what do you think about it?
Well, I would never turn down anything with Maggie Smith. She is wonderful. And the rest of the cast is, this is not damning with fake praise, but the rest of the cast is good as well. But this actually sounds like a couple of things that I've probably seen before. However, I have a feeling that if it's a formulaic movie, I think it's at least going to be well made.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it looked really magical and fun, and the cast, you can't deny that it's a great cast. And I like that Netflix is kind of keeping whimsy magical stories afloat, because you don't get those actually from Hallmark very much. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to give it a 4.
I'll give it a 3.5.
Mm-hmm. All right, then we have Robin Robin. This is on the 24th as well, and it's from Netflix. And when her egg fortuitously rolls into a rubbish dump, Robin is raised by a loving family of mice. As she grows up, her differences become more apparent. Robin sets off on the heist to end all heists to prove to her family that she can be a really good mouse, but ends up discovering who she really is. And this is from the folks at Aardman. Very exciting. What do you think, Ryan?
I am a huge Aardman junkie, so I'm giving this one a 5. Like,
Yeah.
anything they do, I automatically am like, well, I'm watching that. Like,
Mhm.
even Flushed Away, which is not their worst, but is like just okay. It's still got nice imagination and some pretty funny jokes. So everything they touch just turns to gold for me.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I've had a few of them that I liked less, but I'll always be excited for an Aardman film every time. Just the animation alone is so great, and so this one I think looks so cute. I am on board. 5 for me as well. And this one's just a short, so but I am really looking forward to it. Okay, then on Disney Plus, we have Becoming Cousteau. This is on the 24th of November. Its focus will be on the inventor, explorer, environmentalist, filmmaker, revolutionary, or sorry, its focus will be on the inventor, explorer, environmentalist, filmmaker revolution, i.e., giving mankind the resources to explore the ocean, with the Aqualung calling attention to ocean pollution and his longtime collaboration. This is Jacques Cousteau. And I have actually seen this as well. And I have a review on my over on my blog, and it was really good. It's one of those bio docs, but it was really interesting to see the beginning of his career when he actually was he had this whole idea of building an entire civilization under the water, and that's what he thought would be the world in the future. And then as he kind of moves along, he becomes more sort of a little bit more cynical, a little bit more wary of man, and wants them to kind of stay away from the ocean because they keep polluting it and everything. And I don't know, just his overall sort of life journey was really interesting. And so yeah, it's a good documentary. It's very interesting, and I love the ocean. That's my favorite place. So
I saw this come to my local theater. I think it's a Fathom event, and I was like becoming Cousteau, like the detective, and I was like thinking he was like Jacques Clouseau, and I was like, no, this is a different person. And considering the fact that he wears like a beanie and his general look, I wonder if Wes Anderson took some inspiration for The Life Aquatic.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, I could see that.
Because it's like the two are like photo negatives of each other, or not photo negatives, but it's like one and like one of each other.
Mm-hmm. What do you think? What would you give it?
I'd give it a 3.5. It looks interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I forget what I gave it in my review. I think it was like a 6 out of 10 or 7, something like that. So, all right. Next, we have A Castle for Christmas. And the trailer for this just came out today. So that was very exciting. Or yesterday. And it's Brooke Shields, Carrie Elwes, and it's Brooke Shields stars as famous author Sophie Brown, who is trying to buy a castle in Scotland as one does. She faces opposition from the owner, Duke Miles, who doesn't want to sell the castle to a foreigner. But underneath all their conflicts, something else may be blooming between them. So now you've seen the trailer. What do you think?
I think it looks interesting. Like I said in the tweet reply, anything with Carrie Elways, it automatically gets my attention. And I know I said that in the preview, the Hallmarkies preview, but I said just wanted to say it again just for the record.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I do think his accent is pretty cringy. It does not sound good. But
yeah, I saw some slack for it, and I was like, okay, I kind of understand. I mean, it's
yeah.
I mean, could be worse. It could be like, oh, go down to the pint and
it was pretty close. I don't know.
Oh,
I mean, Michelle Benson, our friend from Scotland, who does the Heartland podcast with me, she was like,
yeah, I saw. She was like, oh god.
But I still am excited about it. I'm gonna give it a 2.5.
Yeah, I will meet you there. 2.5.
Okay, then we have A Loud House Christmas. This on Paramount Plus, and A Loud House Christmas follows Lincoln Loud as he gears up for the ultimate Christmas until he finds out that most of his sisters have plans to be elsewhere for the big day. Determined to remind his family that they all need to be together, Lincoln and his best friend Clyde embark on a mission to preserve the family's holiday traditions. So, what did you think about this? We actually have a trailer now. We didn't have it before. So, what did you think of the trailer?
I'm not too familiar with the I'm not too familiar with the Loud House. I've seen bits and pieces here and there, but it looks fun enough. I like the message of it. I think the movie's heart's in the right place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I do like the Loud House. I haven't seen every episode, but I've seen quite a few episodes. And this just annoys me that they made it live action. I don't like that. I wish they just made it animated. So I'm gonna give it a 1. I don't really like.
I'll give it a 1.5.
Okay.
Just for nice sake.
Okay, good. All right. Then on the 30th of November, we have The Summit of the Gods, and this is an animated film, and it's a breathtaking adaptation of the manga series by renowned manga artist Jiro Taniguchi and writer Bakuyamu Makara. I'm sorry. The Summit of the Gods follows a young Japanese photojournalist, Fukamachi, who finds a camera that could change the history of mountaineering. It leads him to the mysterious Habu, an outcast climber believed missing for years. Fukamachi enters a world of obsessive mountaineers hungry for impossible conquests on a journey that leads him step by step towards the summit of the gods. And this was playing at Animation's Film, and I so wish I could have seen it. I missed the chance, but it looks incredible to me. I'm very pumped, very excited. I'm going to give this a 5. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, this looked great. And when I saw this was from the creators of Wolfwalkers, I'm like, wait, is this from your boy Tom Moore with 2 M's?
No, it's not directed by him, but yeah, they were involved. It's directed by, let's see here, Patrick Imbert is the name.
Also, I was thinking, is this a Japanese movie, or I thought they were saying French at first, but then it sounded Japanese to me. I wasn't sure.
So it's based on a manga. And let's see here. This is the director has only done, he did 2 of the segments in The Big Bad Fox and Other Tales. And he was also did work animation director for April and the Extraordinary World. So that French crew. He was the animation director for Ernest and Celestine. So that's kind of where he comes from. Let's see here. It looks like it's European film based on a manga.
Oh, interesting. A bit of a melting pot.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think it looks great. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm gonna match you. I'll give it a 5 as well. It looks fantastic.
Yeah. All right. Then we have Power of the Dog. This is on the 1st of December. This is Netflix. And it's charismatic rancher Phil Burbank inspires fear and awe in those around him. When his brother brings home a new wife and her son, Phil, when his brother brings home a new wife and her son, Phil torments them until he finds himself exposed to the possibility of love. And this is directed by Jane Campion, who I love. And I think she's a great director. She did Bright Star, which is a movie I really think is beautiful. So I'm looking forward to this. I've heard Benedict is great in the role. When it's screened at TIFF, I heard nothing but positive reviews. So I'm definitely looking forward to it. I'm going to give it a 4.5. What about you?
Well, I love me some Cumberbatch and pretty much everything that he is in. 1917, the MCU, Sherlock, like I love them all. And so when I saw this, I was thinking to myself, this sounds like something he would sink his teeth into. And I'm not sure what the streaming is like with the Oscars, but if they were to nominate him, I would actually like that. It probably won't happen. It's the Oscars, but if it does happen, I wouldn't be surprised, and I'd be very happy with that.
I think he's a strong contender from what I'm hearing. He's having a very strong year because there's not only this, but there's also The Electric Life of Louis Wayne, which I really enjoyed at TIFF. And that one's a little bit weirder, so this one will probably have more of the Oscar potential, but they're both good movies in my opinion. So yeah, what would you give this one?
I give it a 4.5 as well. I'm a big fan of Benedict Cumberbatch. Cody Smith-McPhee's in there.
Oh yeah, he's always good.
Kirsten Dunst is in there, which I support her no matter what, especially after the whole Spider-Man thing, and people are like, "Oh, she's the worst Mary Jane." She's been the only one, and she was good in that role. You just don't want to admit it.
I mean, and Cody Smith-McPhee, I think he's one of the underrated actors working today.
For sure.
If anybody saw Alpha, that movie was very underrated and it was very good. And he did everything that Leonardo DiCaprio did in Revenant, but better, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, I would go quite that far, but he was very good in Alpha. It was a very underrated movie. I think it was like, when I saw it, I was like the only one in the theater, which is sad because
Hmm.
It's a movie. It's a bit challenging to get into because it's a movie that's told in an entirely different language. It's just a boy and his dog for like 90 minutes,
Hmm.
so that can be a bit tricky.
Yeah.
However,
But he has to fight like the fight nature. He's on the screen
mm,
the whole time, basically, like Leonardo DiCaprio and Revenant. And I just felt so much more like feeling for his character and more of a heart there for me. But it's way underrated. If you haven't seen it, you should watch Alpha. It's really good. And I was skeptical. I did not think that. I mean, that the reason why the marketing was terrible for that movie,
no,
and so too bad.
makes
But I
sense.
think he's an underrated actor. I really do.
Mm.
Okay, then we have Diary of a Wimpy Kid. This is animated. Disney Plus, the 3rd of December. Greg Heffley is a scrawny but ambitious kid with an active imagination and big plans to be rich and famous. He just has to survive middle school first. To make matters worse, Greg's lovable best friend Rowley seems to coast through life and succeed at everything without even trying. As details of his hilarious and often disastrous attempts to fill the pages of his journal, Greg learns to appreciate true friends and the satisfaction that comes from standing up for what is right. So, what do you think of this trailer?
I loved it. I actually read a good amount of the Diary of a Wimpy Kid books when they came out. They were like came out at the right time for me, and I was like at the right age for them. And when I saw the live action ones, I'm like, all right, these are fine and all, but I mean, like they just kind of killed it with the Dog Days one. It just wasn't good at all.
Yeah,
So I
that
think it
was
was
bad.
very wise to A, animate it, and B, put it in the style that you see in the book, the very stick figure
Hmm.
esque kind of stuff that's in the books. I love that. I love the spirit of that. And when I first saw this, like I was thinking to myself, man, Micah, our friend, must be over the moon with this.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And I mean, I think it feels like the same kind of animation that they did for the Captain Underpants movie. I don't know if you ever saw that on
I
for
did. It was
Dream.
really good.
Yeah,
Captain
it was.
Underpants was around my same age range, also.
Hmm. Yeah, I really enjoyed that, and this looks like a lot of fun to me. I think it's a good, like you're saying, a good smart way to kind of refresh the franchise, do something different, do something creative, and so yeah, I'm gonna give it a 3.
I'll give it 3.5.
Mhm. Okay, then we have a new DCOM, which I'm looking forward to. It's going to be on Disney Channel on the 3rd, and then later on Disney Plus. That's called Christmas Again, and it's Ro isn't handling her parents' divorce well because she wants her life back to the way it was. Her parents back together, her dad's new girlfriend and son out of the picture, and their family traditions to remain the same. After disappointing celebration with her family, including her sister Gabby, Abuela Sofia and Abuela Hector, she makes a wish to neighborhood Santa for a do-over and unexpectedly finds herself reliving Christmas Day over and over and over again. Now, in order to break the strange magical loop, Ro must learn to appreciate her loving family as it is, as well as the true meaning of Christmas. And if you know me, you know that I love a time loop movie.
They're
I
very
mean,
easy.
we
They're
were
very easy to like. That's why I love
we
Groundhog Day so much.
Yeah, we were just talking about Christmas Perfection, which was perfection, if you ask me. And then, of course, I love Palm Springs. Groundhog Day. It's just a really fun. There's a fun concept. There's the 12 Dates of Christmas, which is a fun one. Or she gets to go on this date over and over and over again. That one's fun. What do you think of this decom?
It looks interesting. I mean, at the very least, I like the story of it. I love the someone learning the idea of, things may not exactly look good now, but if you stick with it, they will get better eventually. I like the spirit of that idea.
Hmm.
Uh, I think I'll give it a 2.5.
Hmm. Okay, we did get a comment from Jacob. He says, the animated Diary of a Wimpy Kid looks like the movie should have gotten first time. Never understand why there were 4 live action movies based on this material. Uh,
Four, four
4.
of the things. Claire
So
Anderson, J.J. Tully, 4.
so Christmas again. Did I give that my score? I don't think I did. You
I
did.
gave it a 2.5, and yours was.
I think I'll give it a 4. I'm pretty excited about it. Hopefully it'll be good. It's been a good year actually for DComs. I mean, the Under Wraps wasn't the best, but they had one called Spin that I enjoyed quite a bit, and then this hopefully will be good. Okay, then we have The Unforgivable. This is on the 10th of December, and it's Netflix. A woman is released from prison after serving a sentence for a violent crime and re-enters a society that refuses to forgive her for her past. This stars Sandra Bullock. What were your thoughts of the trailer?
Well, before I get into my thoughts, I remember when this came out, and I think it was on your Twitter or Instagram where you said, "I miss rom-com Sandra," and I
I
was like, I,
do.
that hits different with me because that was like the only movie she was in. It was like Blind Spot, and now she's in these serious movies. And don't get me wrong, she's good in them. Let's not get that twisted. But with this movie, it just seems like something. So it seems like something in the Out of the Furnace universe.
Yeah, I mean it looked pretty good, but just really not my, not my jam, not my cup of tea, but it looked like a pretty good performance. And it reminded me of there was a movie with Kristen Scott Thomas that's really good about a person released from prison that has a dark secret with her past. And what is that called? I don't know. I'll find it. But I don't know. What are you going to give this one?
I'm going to give this one a 3. I think it looks interesting.
It's called, where is it? Let's see here. I've Loved You So Long is what it's called. The Kristen Scott Thomas one.
You got there before me.
I'm going to give it a 2. It does. I mean, it looks good, but just as far as my interest, it doesn't interest me that much. Okay, then we have A Christmas Proposal. This is on the 12th. This is Paramount Plus. Let's see. Let's see here. So this is about a chef who dreams of having her own food truck, agrees to pose as girlfriend of an attorney. Working together, they try to prove he's the ideal candidate to take over the family firm, but is as complicated as real sparks begin to fly. What do you think of this one?
I think it kind of seems like I've seen something like this a time or two. Like I have a feeling I know exactly what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it'll be well made. I'm going to give it a 2.5.
Yeah. I agree. I'm gonna give it 2.5. It stars Adam Rodriguez and Jessica Camacho, and I think I've seen both of them, but they're not like super. I mean, my favorites or anything like that. So all right, then we have Christmas Takes Flight. This is on the 19th on Paramount Plus, and it's a holiday battle of wills erupts between pilot Jenny and Matt, a number crunching CEO who purchases Jenny's family-owned regional airline. Matt's cost-cutting initiatives threaten Christmas when he cancels the airline's annual holiday charitable benefit for underserved children. Determined to show Matt that the sweetest things in life are worth any price, Jenny rallies the community to help save the event and unexpectedly finds herself falling for the magnet in the process. What do you think?
Again, it kind of sounds like the last one.
Yeah, it does sound pretty basic, but I'm going to give it a 2.
Yeah, same with me.
Okay, talking about changing left turn, as you like to say. We have
hard left.
Hard left. We have Matrix 4. This is on the 22nd, and it's on HBO Max, and it's 20 years after the events of the Matrix Revolutions. Neo lives a seemingly ordinary life as Thomas A. Anderson in San Francisco, where his therapist prescribes him blue pills. Neither he nor Trinity recognize each other. However, Morpheus offers him the red pill and reopens his mind to the world of the Matrix. So what do you think, Ryan?
Well, I guess a bit of a cheap plug. I've been doing Matrix reviews with Brevin over at Brevin's Flicks and Games. We've done the one for the first one. I just recently watched Matrix Reloaded earlier last month for the first time, and I can safely say that it's got good ideas, but everything involving the last human city, you can just breeze right on past because that city is just like the most boring on the planet. But the action is really good, and I have not seen Revolutions. Don't spoil it for me. I'm going to
No.
watch it eventually. I've heard it's not good, so I'm just kind of mentally preparing myself for it. When I heard that this movie was getting made, I was thinking to myself, I thought this was ending, like, or it was already done. Like, what's up with this? But if the Wachowskis think there's more story to tell, then more power to them. I mean, it's not like their other movies have done swimmingly. I think their last one was Jupiter Ascending, which is so bad it's amazing. How to make the Academy regret giving you an Oscar in one easy step, Eddie Redmayne.
Yeah, I have some kind of fun with that movie,
Oh,
but yeah,
sure.
it's definitely kind of a hot mess, but uh so yeah, I mean, you do wonder if there really another story to tell, but hopefully there is. And it's not really, I mean, sci-fi is not really my thing. But hopefully I'll like it. I'm gonna give it a 3.
I'll give it a 3.5. I hope it because it's the Wachowskis. I hope that the action is fantastic, and I please get Hugo Weaving, or at least I hope he's a cameo in there somewhere because a Matrix movie without Hugo Weaving is just it's just not the same.
Hmm. Okay, so then we have Don't Look Up. This is on the 24th, and it's two low-level astronomers must go on a giant media tour to warn mankind of an approaching comet that will destroy the planet Earth. It's directed by Adam McKay, and it stars Leonardo DiCaprio, Timothy Chalamet, Jennifer Lawrence, Ariana Grande, Chris Evans, Jonah Hill, Meryl Streep, and more. This on Netflix. What do you think?
I have a complex relationship with Adam McKay movies. They got big casts, they're usually acted pretty well. I like the cinematography, and I have a feeling that his heart is in the right place when it comes to spotlighting certain things. However, there are certain things about his movies that I just tend to find a tad distracting. Like, if any of you have ever seen The Big Short, I think it's a pretty good movie about the financial crisis and what led up to it. However, the whole celebrity cameos of, like, say, Anthony Bourdain or Margot Robbie in the bathtub, which I'm not exactly refusing that latter one, but it's the whole, well, let me tell you about subprime loans. And it's like, it just kind of feels like Adam McKay just feels like we're stupid. And so he has
Yeah.
to explain things to us. It is like I'm not a hockey fan, and yet I love Miracle. So you don't need to, like Herb Brooks, literally explain the game of hockey to me. It's like just tell a good story, and I will follow it. And so I have a feeling that hopefully this doesn't steer into more of McKay's like negative tendencies. I haven't seen Vice. I've heard good things, but I don't know. Movies about W just like kind of feel the same to me. It's like, oh, he's dumb. It was like, okay, like I was not really
Yeah. He was smart
that
enough to get elected president. I mean,
twice,
uh, twice, yeah.
and dodge a shoe in the Middle East.
Right. Um, yeah, I liked The Big Short well enough. It was kind of novel at the time, something different. But yeah, I agree, it can definitely feel patronizing. And I did not like Vice at all. I thought it was terrible. I thought it was basically like propaganda. It had no real attempt to be objective at all. Not that I'm like some big fan of Dick Cheney, but it was just so uh I don't
like
know,
like
just
if I want to watch someone crap on Dick Cheney, I'll watch Bill Maher.
yeah, it was just bad. I hated it. And sure, the makeup was impressive, but that does not make a good movie. You have to still have a good movie. And so I'm not really looking forward to this. I didn't love the trailer. I think it's going to be kind of patronizing, kind of annoying. It does have a great cast, but I'm also going to give this a 2.
Like all I hope is that like they don't have a cameo from Neil deGrasse Tyson to be like,
Oh
here's
my
what you need
gosh.
to know about low level orbit.
Yeah, that's very true. Very
I'll
true.
I'll give it a 2.5 just for the cast. I mean, it's Leo, so I at least believe that he's gonna be good in it.
All right, last one. We have Encanto, and this is from Walt Disney Animated Studios. It's a girl in Colombia faces the frustration of being the only member of her family who doesn't have magical powers. And I saw a preview for this at Animationist Film, and we got to see 3 of the songs. We got to hear from director Jared Bush, and I just went from being like super hyped because I'm always going to be hyped for, especially an animated Disney musical, always going
Mhm.
to be hopeful that that'll be great. But I went from being hyped to being like, woo, hyped. I absolutely loved the songs that we got to hear, of course, from Lin-Manuel Miranda. It looks like it's going to be really unique that, yes, we have our lead character, Maribel, but it's really about the family. And they had, that was the whole reason they wanted to tell the story, was to tell a story about a whole extended family. And I'm really excited about this movie. I think it looks great.
As long as it doesn't play a 20-minute Frozen short, I'm good. No, but in
Yeah.
all seriousness, though, the trailer does look very good and very promising. 3.5.
Yeah, I'm giving it a 5. It and Cyrano are my most anticipated coming up. And I'm really, really looking forward to both. So I get to actually see it on Monday. So we'll see soon what I thought. But there we go. We did it. And I think that, yeah, that one out of all these, I think Encanto is my most anticipated, but I'm also really looking forward to Summit of the Gods. That's probably my second most anticipated. And then the Princess Switch 3. I'm really looking forward to that. And Robin. Those are some, I'm really excited about that. So, and here we go, Jacob Martin. I actually like the 20-minute Frozen short. Yes, agreed. I
Good
did
for
too.
you.
I did too. Free extra bonus movie. I'm in it all day. I don't
Good for
understand.
you.
And we did get and he says the new Home Alone looks so bad. So too bad. There we go. So let's see here. What about 8-Bit Christmas? It's a Christmas movie coming out this month. It doesn't look too bad. I don't know about that one. I'll have to look into
I've
it. Is that
never heard of that one.
yeah, let me oh yeah, this got Neil Patrick Harris. 1980 Chicago, a 10-year-old sets out on a quest to get the Christmas gift of his generation, the latest and greatest video game system. I guess this doesn't look like it's on HBO Max. Okay. Interesting. That looks pretty good. Just from the summary there. It's got Winslow Fegley in it, who I love, who was in Timmy Failure. So good. So I'm just from what I've seen here. I haven't watched the trailer yet. I will give it 3.5.
Yeah, I'll echo that. 3.5.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thanks for bringing that to my attention. They see it, I'm like, oh, I think I have seen that poster, but I missed it. Darn, I should have had that in our Hallmarkies preview. But there we go. So Ryan, how can people find you and your content?
They can find me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd at RyanCam20. And there's, of course, my YouTube channel, which is just called Ryan Cam. You know, it's nice that Jacob Martin's been commenting throughout the stream because he and I are going to be we're cooking something up starting in 2022. So I'll be releasing more information as it comes. But like I mentioned, I've been doing collabs with Brevin over at Brevin's Flicks and Games, the Matrix movies, and we're planning a bunch more coming out in 2022. As far as solo stuff for me, I've got Movie Nerds Club coming out tomorrow. It's top 5 movies released on Thanksgiving weekend or Thanksgiving Day. That should be a lot of fun. Let me look at my board. On Sunday, I'm going to be continuing my I finally watched a series where I take a look at the tale of Princess Kaguya. I've never seen it, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens. And then new releases and Twilight Zone videos, and then that's all throughout November. And then December, I'm going to have my Christmas series, which is very exciting and I'm in preparation for. I actually just watched the OG Miracle on 34th Street for the first time.
Ooh.
Spoiler alert, it's fantastic. Edmund Gwynn, wow. And
Won an
then
Oscar for that.
I am not surprised.
Yeah.
And one last thing, I am going to be a part of something pretty special over at the Suit Up Geeks podcast. I'm going to be in the greatest sci-fi movie of all time, Fantasy
Ah,
Draft. It's
nice.
my first time doing it, and I've got the number one pick. I have no idea how good or bad I'm going to do. I'm just going there to have a good time. And so here's to hoping I do it marginally well, at least. So
Nice.
look forward to that, and I'll have links as it comes up. It's actually next Saturday, so I'll post that out when it comes to time. So if you haven't checked my channel out, please be sure to.
Great. Yeah. And you can find me at Rachel's Reviews, all of our social media, iTunes, YouTube, and on Rotten Tomatoes. And if you end up watching or listening to this on iTunes, please leave your ratings and reviews. Appreciate that so much. Also, if you are watching here on YouTube, please like this video. Please subscribe to the channel. Appreciate that so much. Also have the merch store, which has tons of new holiday inspired designs. Please take a look at that. And you can get hashtag animation junkie shirts. And then also we have the Patreon group, which we have watch alongs and other fun things going on over there. Would really appreciate your support there. And check out the Hallmarkies podcast. We are super busy. We're going to have an episode every single day next week. So, woo! So make sure to take a look at that. I would really appreciate it. And thanks so much, everybody, and for your great comments. We really appreciate it. So thanks, everybody, and we'll talk to you all later.